Hello guys, good evening everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. So welcome you all for today's workshop that is for on PF track. Okay. So PF track is 3D tracking software, or which is we also call as a matchmove software. Okay. Now, first of all, we want to know is what is tracking. Okay. So tracking is something when we track someone, right, in a normal life also, so for some information, right? So we take those information and we utilize for whatever the purpose is, right? So when we talk about the softwares, so yeah, we do track the things, right? But for what information? Here we are taking the information of a camera, means how the camera is behaving into the scene, whether it is moving, zoom in, zoom out, or what type of movement the camera is having in the scene, right? What is the focal length and every all other information we have to put it, and then we get the information of the movement, and then that information of movement we can utilize to further in other software or in the same software to maybe to attach a roto, or to maybe place something, or to remove something, or to stabilize the footage, or you can add a CG footage, CG elements to the scene, right? So any of the things we can easily do. So when we talk about the 3D tracking, yes, when we are working in the depth also, right? So here we take with the camera information, we also need the depth of the scene, means how much the persons or the object are far away from the camera, and from the object, how much far away is the background also, right? So all those depth is also needed to, and plus the surface where they are standing, right? The contact surface. So we need all this information to successfully place any CG elements or the object into the scene, and then we can club it together, or we can say we can compose it together to get our realistic scene that okay, the CG is a part of a live action. Okay, so this whole process is called as a match move. Okay, so match move involves lot of different things, right? So if we talk about all other things, what are all the information it's needed, it's like very simple things is, right? First thing what we get is a footage, right? Now suppose here is a footage. Okay, now after this footage, what is needed next is like we need a software, right, where we need to track it, right? So what we'll do is we call this footage into the 3D tracking software. Okay, now it can be any, currently we will be working on the PF track, right? It can be 3D equalizer, or maybe Nuke, or even Boju, many other. Okay, so here what we do, we track the information, right? So what we do is we track. After tracking, we solve it. Why we need to solve it? To get the contact and plus the depth into the scene, right? So on the basis of this track information, we solve the camera to get what? Depth into the scene. We call this depth into the scene, we call it as a point cloud. Okay, this point cloud is helpful to get the how much the distance is, right? Every depth information, it will be present in this point cloud. Okay, after this we send this thing into the any of the 3D software, right? It will be Maya, Max, Houdini, or NES, right? So any of the software will send it, right? Now here what they will do is once they will open this file, what they will get a camera which has an animation, point cloud to give the depth, right? So on the basis of that, what they will do is they will place your CG object. Okay, they will place your CG object on the scene on the basis of the point cloud, right? Afterwards, what they will do, they will render only CG with all the lighting and all the animation, whatever is need to be done, texturing and everything. Okay. Now after this render, what we'll do is we'll send this file to the composting software. Right? We send this file to the comp software. Okay. So any of the comp software, whether it is Nuke, Fusion, or AE. Okay, any of the software will send it. Now here what they will do is they will club this footage plus this footage and they will do composite both together. They will do color correction and plus other thing, and then you will get the final output.
So are you sharing the screen or?
What?
Are you sharing the screen? Like, are you showing something?
We are not able to see your screen, sir.
And I have not shared till now. Okay, I was just talking, right? So, okay, let me share it. Okay, so what we do is we get footage, right? After footage, we put it into the any of the 3D track software, right? Afterwards, we track and solve, right? Then export to 3D software. Okay, there we place CG object or elements, whatever you need, right? Then we render only CG, right? Then we'll bring that CG element, right? CG footage plus original footage, right? What you do composition, okay, with all the color correction and everything, right? So this is the whole process. What the match move is: you get a footage, you track it, you solve it, export to the 3D software, right? There you place the CG object, you render the CG object after successful placement. Okay, you render the CG object, you bring that CG object to your Nuke or After Effects. There you combine both CG object or original footage, you do the color correction or other things, Roto or whatever things are necessary, right? Then you will get a composition, right? And finally you get a final output. Okay. Now this is the whole process of a matchbook. Now in all this whole process, right? Three things should never be changed, irrespective of any of the software. Okay, three things you have to be remember that it should not change on any step, right? So that three things you will get it from this footage, right? Raw footage, and that three things you have to be maintained in the final output, right? What are those three things? Is first thing is the frame per second. Okay, the FPS should not be changed. If it is 25 frames per second in this footage, that should remain constant in your 3D track software also, in your 3D of software also, Maya Max, or in your Nuke also. So all three steps, right? Everywhere it should be same. Okay, it should not change. If it is changed, your CG element will not fit to your final footage, your original footage, right? And you'll not get a final output. Okay. Second is dimension, or we say resolution, right? Means your what is the format, right? What is the dimension of the image? It is 2K, 4K, 1920 by 1080, which is SD, PAL, NTSC, whatever it is, right? If you change that also, again, your CG and the footage will not mix properly. Okay, so this also you have to understand that this dimension also you will not change anywhere in between the process. Okay, the third one is the pixel aspect ratio part. Okay, so pixel aspect ratio, because this will make your image either if you change it, it will make it either elongated or shrink, right? Anything can happen. And again, there is a problem will be the CG object. The CG object might their balance or might their proportion will not match with the footage. Okay, so this will hamper your proportions of the CG object, right? So these three things you have to remember, that you should not change any of the software in any of the step, irrespective of the software, whether you are working PFTrack, whether you are working 3D Equalizer, whether you are working Boju, Synthesize, Maya Live, any of the software, right? Whatever 3D software, right? Maya, Max, Houdini, Lightwave, whatever. Okay, so all the places these three things should be common. Clear? Okay. Now another thing is, when we talk about the camera, two things comes in our mind, right? If you have that information, it's fine. If you don't have information, then also fine, right? Because our computer works on both the bases, right? So those two things that you have to understand is, you already know most probably, right? One is the shutter speed, and another one is the aperture. Okay, everyone knows what is shutter speed and aperture? Guys, anyone is here who doesn't know shutter speed and aperture? There's no problem. If you don't know, please let me know. I'll explain what is shutter speed and aperture.
So it's those camera. Why?
Sorry.
So it's the things on the camera, no, sir, for like
Yes.
how much light comes in.
Yeah. So I'll just explain in one line. Okay. What the shutter speed says is the light will be inside the camera till what time? That determines with the help of shutter speed. Means how much time the light will remain inside the camera. Okay, that is determined by the shutter speed. Aperture, how much light will enter into the camera. Okay, so this is the two things you have to understand, right? Okay. Now, today what software we are going to talk is a PFTrack. Okay, the PFTrack is from the company called Pixelform, the Pixelform. Okay, they have many software. They have PFTrack. They have with the PF only. They have PF Matchit. They have a lot of other softwares are also there. But basically, most famous software is the PFTrack. So there is a two variant of the PFTrack is available. One is a layer based, and other one is the node based. So there is a no change in the working layout. Only thing is, it just changes in the one is a layer based, one is a node based. Means one where you have to make a tree, one layer where you have to just how you work in Photoshop and other things, you have to work it like. Okay, so only difference is that, otherwise all working is almost same. Okay, you have all those options present, which is present in layer based, it is present in the node based. Currently in India, maximum of the companies are using layer based only. Okay, because again you have to buy the from layer based to another version you are going, you have to buy the software. So still they are working on the layer based. Yeah, of course, when you go abroad, right there they are using node based. Okay, so we'll be learning about the layer based software, and then in the last I'll tell you about the node based. Okay, how you can jump from the layer based to node based also. Okay, fine. Okay. So currently what I will be working will be the PFTrack version 5. Okay, which is quite old. Okay, so this is my interface of the PFTrack. Okay, so it always check for the new versions. Okay, so what it does is basically whenever you open PFTrack, the default setting is that it will open the previous file what you have already opened, right? So what you have to do is you have to go to the edit, view. You have a preferences there. Sorry, in file you have a preferences there, and you need to do a couple of changes there. Okay, first thing is, what changes you will do is you have to check on the autosave button, so that it will save after every interval of 5 seconds. It will save automatically. Okay, this is very good. Remove the automatic version check. It will always check the automatic version, right? So remove it. Save after track and solve. Check it. Yes, always take after like, okay, whenever there is a like, okay, whenever you have tracked or solve the camera, it will save it. Okay, so that is the best thing, right? Then next thing is load last project of it. Okay, no need load last project. Interface all good, right? It's full screen. I don't want full screen, maximize is fine. Performance, if you want to increase the RAM capacity, right, you can increase it, right? So I have currently it is 50%. That is more than enough. It doesn't need that much. If you're working on the very high end file, 4K or something, then you need a lot of RAM, right? Here, memory cache, use memory cache on it. Okay, this is it will help you to run a little smoother. Okay, so this is a very good option to turn it on. Okay, then next is all is fine. I don't need to change anything. There are a lot of options are there, right? So file system calibration keys and colors are there, right? I don't need to change anything. Fine. So once everything is done, I say okay. Okay. Now next, what you have to do is you have to do the file new project. Okay. Now, whenever you make a new file, right? What you do is there is a strict folder. I'll say make a strict folder system, right? Okay, where you work it, right? So, right, in industry we follow this rule, right? Like what we do is we name the folder, right? Now, suppose I am working on one file which I am saying is faculty room. Okay, suppose this is my on which for this is my project name, faculty room. Okay, so you have to make 4 folders inside. One is the source footage 00. Another one is the PF track files where you will save the PF track. Third one is where you will export the Maya file. Fourth one is the Fusion, or you can rename it to the any of the COM files. I'll say is a COM files. Okay, so this will help you to keep all the files intact into the one folder. You open it and every file you will get it there. So this will be much better options to whenever you are working, right? So source footage, I have a movie file if you have, and even I have a sequential file. So again, PF track, like all other tracking software, it supports only sequential file. It doesn't support any MOV file or movie files, right? Any MP4, AVI, or it doesn't support anything. It does support only image sequence. Okay, it can be a JPEG, PNG, Cineon, DPX, any of these. Okay, so I have a file inside this, right? Then I have a PF track file where I will save my all the files. Okay, Maya files where I will export. Now in export also, I have a CG element. With CG element, I'll save one file. Play blast, I'll save it here. Maya render, I will save it here. Okay, and reference file if I have taken any texture or anything. So that you can do. So you can do the directly project setting. You can do it in this folder only for Maya. Okay, and the last one is the COM files. You have a COM files means your Fusion, Nuke, or After Effects software file, and the final render output will be. Okay, so this is what we need to be there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll save it to that file. So I'll say browse. I'll say desktop, find, go inside the desktop, find out where is my faculty room. It is here. PF track files. Okay, so I want to save it here. I'll say faculty. Okay, same project file I'll take. Okay. Now, when you save that file, what happens is in the faculty room file, you will find there is untitled shot is there, and you have a PTP and PRJ doc is there. So all the autosave file and everything, you will get it here. Okay, so this is the usefulness of the saving. Now, this is my interface. Here is all my things are there. What are the things like footage will store here. Reference lens will store here. Lens distortion if I is there. Mask if I want to make it. Groups of camera information, constraint, scene, or any of the tracking, export, and everything is here. This is my viewer window where all the footage will be seen. This is my timeline come other like graph editors, right? I have different types of graphs are there. We'll talk about that later. And plus my timeline is there. So first of all, we have to call the footage. So what you can do is you can select this footage file. You can you can click it here, right? Or best thing is press Ctrl+I, or you can go to the file and say new. You can import the footage, right? Or you can click it here to import the footage, right? Anything you can do it. Okay, so I'll press Control I. Again, where I have to go? I have to go into that folder, select this. When you select this, you automatically all the sequence will be selected. If you want single frame, click it, you will find the single frame only. Right, so you can do that. So I have selected, it is says the frame starts from 0 and it's into 193. And you can see all the information, what information is there. It is 720 by 576, means it is a PAL with 25 FPS, right? Duration is there. Text storage is there. All the information metadata files are there. Say load. Now it will check the footage for any error is there or any problem is there. It will display the problem. Otherwise, it will bring that here. Okay. Now, this is the file. To navigate, it's simple. Click middle mouse button and drag your mouse to zoom in, zoom out. Right? Left mouse button to pan around. Okay. Even right, left or right mouse button, both is used for the pan around. Right? And middle mouse button for zoom in, zoom out. Middle mouse button plus drag is for zoom in, zoom out. Okay, whenever you have zoomed it too much, right? If you want to restore it, press Alt F. Alt F shortcut is for the fit to the screen. Clear? Okay. The next, I'll talk about the timeline. Okay, the timeline is very simple. Right here, your frame numbers are given. Here you have playback options, right? First frame, last frame, play backward. Play one step backward, one step forward, play backward, play forward, stop. Okay. The shortcuts are also there, right? You can press arrows keys, right? If you press right mouse button, you can move forward. You can play left mouse button to move backward, right? If anywhere you are in the middle of the screen, press up. Means in the your keyboard, right? You have this thing left arrow and right arrow, up arrow and down arrow, right? So up arrow is for the first frame, down arrow for the last frame. Okay, up and down. Up for the first frame and the down arrow is for the last. Okay, so this is there. You can press spacebar to play. Okay, you can press spacebar to pause or stop, right? Press up button to go to the first frame. Sorry, up button to the last frame, down button for the first frame. Okay, fine. Here you will find that cache file, how much cache file you have allotted and how much it is using it. So always you can empty and you can cache it out if you want, right? Or you can increase it, go to the properties and you can increase it also, right? How much you want. So I can increase it also. So I'll say something around 1,000. Okay, I'll give 1,000. Okay, so this is much cache file I'll be using it, right? So you can easily give it. Then you have a preview option. You want to preview. Currently, I'm in the preview window only. You want to enable it. It will always compress, right? And it will show you the preview window, right? So it will just you to like buffer it, right? If you want to, if you are for PAL, it is fine. If you are working on 4K or something like that, you can always use the preview, right? I'll clear it, fine. Because for PAL, I don't need, my RAM is more than sufficient to utilize it. Okay. Then you have a loop button, right? To play, pause this, right? Play once, play loop, right? Means forth and back, forth and backward, forth and backward, right? Ping pong, right? Anything you can, from play one, play ping pong and play loop, anything you can on it. Okay. So default is a loop. Okay. There it's giving you is a frame. You can check all the scripting part, what its loading screen is there, right? Current frame, it will show here, right? Whatever frame, if I am there, the current frame, it will show here. I'm on the 47th frame. Okay. Step means currently I am going forward one frame. that is 1. If you increase 5 means I'll go 5 frames. Okay, so this should always be 1. Fine. Till now everything is clear for everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So next option, what I'll tell you is I can see there is a white boundary line is there, right? So this you can remove it, right, by pressing Alt 9. Okay, press Alt 9 to remove the boundary box, this white color boundary box. Okay, I don't need. Okay, that I don't need. Okay, fine. Now, PF track is a combination of automatic tracking and the manual tracking. Now, what do you mean by automatic tracking and manual tracking is? Auto tracking means automatically computer will find the track points and it will track it. Manual means I am telling the computer, okay, this is the track point and track this point. Or I am manually tracking frame by frame, whatever it is, right? So for a successful and a good track, you need a combination of auto track plus minimum 7 manual track points. Okay, minimum 7 manual track points you need. Okay, so to check everything, you can go to different options are there, right? You can F curve is there, DOPAS is there, track L, track E is there, right? Different things are there. This will show you the error and all. So we'll see in the future also what type of error it shows. Okay. Now, next here we have some windows are there, right? So one by one, it is like a step by step. So what you can find it here, some of the shortcut has been given here, right? Like this is for the new project, right? It will just give you the new untitled short, untitled 1, untitled 2, like this is a new version. This is for the import footage to save it, help button. Okay, this is like auto track on, right? So I can go camera and say here also I can put the shot on. Tracking, I can always say auto track on. Okay, or I can click it here, it will track it, right? So this is automatic tracking. Then here is the solve camera, means auto tracking. After that, you want to solve it, you can solve. Here you can track and solve, means automatically this both step will do in one go. Track and solve. Next is improve solution. If you have done some changes, you can always select on the improve solution to improve it. Then you have a track and optical flow. Optical flow is just to show how the movement of the object or the camera is there in the scene. So that will show with the velocity graph. Okay, this is the optical flow. If you click it, it will just show the how many optical, flow, what type of flow is there in the scene. Okay, then here you have options for the placing the, making the mask, adding a user feature, adding solving the lens distortion, selection, right, navigation, right. Then you have a color key, orientation, and all others are there. We'll see each one by one. The first thing will come is the tracking. Tracking parameters. Now, tracking parameter, this is the setting only for the auto tracking, not for the manual tracking. Okay. Now, auto tracking has some settings called window width will be 11, window width will be height. Means all over whatever auto track points the computer will select, their window will be 11 by 11 pixels. I'm talking about only the pixels. Okay. Here everything is in the pixels. Okay. So 11 by 11 pixels. Similarity means if there is any error, what type of error? The RMS, root mean square error, SAD error, or NCC error. So whatever default is set is fine, or you can go for the RMS error. That is also good. Okay. Group camera means all this track point will come inside the camera group. See, group camera auto features, right? All this will go inside this auto feature, which is inside the group, which is camera. Okay. Selection parameters. Now, target features will be how many minimum, maximum point will be there, right? Maximum point it will make is a 150, means total 150 track point it will create into the scene. Okay. So this is a maximum value. Separation from each track point to another track point will be 11 frames. Okay. There is a threshold value is given is 0.01, means it is just to how the track point will be selected. It is the threshold value for that. Okay. You want to spread the features all over the scene, or you want to limit, okay, only this area you want to have a feature so that you can change it from here. I want to spread it. I don't want to limit it. Tracking parameter means each track point will have how much big length. So it says 5 frames. Okay, means minimum 5 frames one track point should have. So you want to increase it, you want to decrease it. So I'll say at least it should have 8 frames. Suppose I've given 8 frames. Okay. Search range means what is the search area that it will find. The boundary box is line by line, search area is 64 pixels. Minimum separation will be how much between the track length will be 5. Maximum residual will be how much? Will be 0.1. Means this is the how much error it will show while tracking, right? So this will be the maximum tracking error, means you are giving them, okay, there is a maximum error, means till 0.1 you can afford error, right? But don't go beyond this. If there is a error beyond 0.1, straight away you can delete your track point automatically. Okay, so means I'm telling computer, okay, after 0.1 you can delete your track point. I don't want that track point which has error more than 0.1. Fine. Okay, once I am satisfied with everything, now I have a tracking method, means I want to track it in the color of the gray scale. I want to track in red channel or green channel or blue channel or none of this or any one of this. Black track means I want to track forward and the backward both together. Affine features means automatically it will show the feature finding options. It will show the small window or not. Deflicker, if there is a flickering is there, so you want to deflicker it, you can use this button to deflicker it. Guided tracking, yes, you want to have a help from the computer to guide tracking. Consistency check means computer will automatically check the consistency of the track points. Okay, if I say preview, you will find there is these many track points are there. These are the computer can identify the track points is available into the scene. Okay, so these are the few preview. Okay, fine. I am satisfied with this. I'll switch off the preview. I'll say close. Fine. I am ready to add any manual track point. Okay, I'll come to that mask color key which is there. Okay, now I'll come to the auto track. Okay, so I'll click here or I can go to the tracking and say auto track. Right. So fine. Auto track. Now you will find that it will track forward and then it will track backward. If this line is in green, means your tracking is going good. If any position this line goes yellow, somewhat okay, red means your track is going haywire. Please improve it. So let it track first.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I'm not getting the tracking parameter thing.
Select the footage. Have you got now?
Not so.
See, you have to select the footage. If you will not select the footage, you may not get the tracking parameters. So you have to select this footage from here inside the footage. Then in the tracking, you will get tracking parameters. Now is it showing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what auto tracking is there. It has done some tracking, right? You can always hover on this point, right, which is X, right? Blue, green line, good. See, now it is showing the error also. If you go club this, it is show. First, it is showing auto 00021 means this is the number. Okay, it means this is the 21 auto track computer has made. Okay, then it says group inside the camera, motion 0, track location is this is the track location means from X coordinate and from the Y coordinate. If you see inside auto tracking, you will find all the auto tracking points are here. Okay. See this point green, yellow, red means in the last it is having some red means it is not going correctly. Okay. So same way you can easily check what are the errors means there are a lot of points which has an error. So that is why we cannot depend only on the auto tracking. We have to add manual tracking also into the scene. Right. Right. So I can easily hover on any of the frame. I can go in between. I can hover. So it will keep on changing, right? Some will be static, some will change, right? One new frame, new track point will be getting added. So anything can be happen in any of the frames. Clear? Okay. Now next point is I have to do the manual tracking. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll hide the auto track points. Press Alt A to hide auto track points. To show it again, press Alt A. So you can hide and unhide with the while pressing Alt A. Okay, A for Apple. Okay, so Alt A is the shortcut for hide and unhide auto features.
ऐसे बोल रहा है.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes sir. वो I suddenly my mic was on.
Okay. Okay, so Alt A is the option for tracking, right? Sorry, hide and unhide the auto track. Okay. Now what I have to do, I have to add a manual. So now my where we'll add a manual track point, we'll add a manual track point to those places where I want to place the object. Okay. So my manual track point should have one from each backgrounds, right? I should have one here also, one here also, one here also, one here also, right? So that I can have a depth also with the manual track point. Okay. So I want to place an object here. So what I'll do is I'll straight away, I'll put 4 track points on this 4 corners. Okay. How to do that is simple. Select on the user feature. Okay. Here you have option to add a manual track point. Click and click anywhere where you want to add a manual track point, or tracking, add manual track point. New user feature. Okay. So it will automatically add into the middle of the scene. Okay. So I'll not do that. I will add manually. So what I can do is I can zoom in a little bit. I'll click on the corner, right? Now it is here, right? I can zoom in, zoom out a little to show, see that, okay, it is there in the perfectly corner or no. Okay, press Alt F to go back. Okay, fine. So this is my pattern area and this is my search area. Means this pattern, it will search, means this point, it will search in this area only. Okay, because this type of corner is present, this corner also, this corner also, this corner also, right? So it may deviate to that position. So that is my search area should be very limited. Okay, like how we have example of, say, police station has a, every police station has a one limit. Okay, they cannot go beyond, the policeman cannot go beyond to that police station reach out, right? So same way, this checkpoint will not go beyond to this search point. Okay, so this search point where it will limit this track point to be search. Okay, fine. So once it is done, what I can do is I can right click and I can say track forward. Okay, now I can always say remove from frame and forward, remove from frame. I can easily remove and delete it. And here is our option for the shortcuts. So click here. So what it will do, it will try to track forward one frame. It will track forward from current to last frame. Failed means in this area, it is not able to find it is where the point is. So go one frame back and try to see where from which frame you got the error. You can see there is a red line, means this all are error. So to go one frame back, because I can see it has shifted a little inside. Okay, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Till what frame you are satisfied. Fine. Fine, 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 fine. Yeah. So after this, I am finding, okay, it is having some problem. So right click, remove from frame forward, means from current frame, all the forward keyframe, it will remove it. So click it. So means you can see backward, you will find there's a keyframes are there, but in the forward, you will not find the keyframes are there. So what I can do is I can go to the next frame and I can manually click it and manually I can make it. So when you make manually, it will always be in green in color. See, now green color is getting added. Because in that motion, sorry, in that motion blur was lot. So that is why it was unable to identify where is the point. Okay, so what you can do is you can manually track this object. Okay, or maybe if you think, okay, now maybe it will go, so track it again. Let's see. Kind of fine. Okay, done. Now what you have to do is, now one point is feature one is done, right? Now what you have to do is you have to go back for the another track point right here. So now if you'll click it, what will happen? This will move to this place. So what you have to do, you have to unselect first. To unselect it, click on the user feature. It has unselected it. Go to the user feature again and click a new point. It will add a new point now. Okay. So zoom in a little, center it out. Okay. And I cannot go track because I'm on the last frame currently. Yellow line shows. So I can say track backward. Sorry, I'm on the first frame. Okay, so let's see any. Fine, some error is there. Let it be. Okay. Done. Move to this position. Unselect again. Click here to add point. Zoom in to match it to the center. Zoom out. Track forward. Fine. Go to the first frame. Unselect. Click to add another track point. Feature number 4. And then track forward. It will show error. Why? What is happening is it is going off, means beyond the screen, right? So let's see where it was fine. Till here it was fine, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to the next frame and I'll manually create the points. Okay, done. Okay, 4 frames have been added, right? Now we have to add another points, right? So I'll select some other surfaces, right? So one, I can take it from this place, right? So let's find out where we can get it. Okay. I can see one spot is there, right? That has the color changes there. So always choose your pattern, right? Okay, corner is there, corner is fine. You can always choose, but if you have a flat wall, so always try to find out where you have a color contrast more. Okay, so I can see there is a color contrast more is there. So I'll select and give up 1 point here. Okay, and say, zoom out a little, right? And track forward. It's a bad track, it had moved out. It's working fine, 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 fine. Yeah, see, it has moved here. So what I'll say, right click, remove frame forward, add point. I have to do some manual tag because it is totally in blur motion. So most probably I have to do manually this point. Okay, so I'll do manually now. So keep on adding it.
So why we are tracking this point?
Because we need at least minimum 7 points. And why I'm taking this point is like I want 1 point on this surface to get the depth, like for how much distance is between these two surfaces. Right. So that is why you need to have a point in from each of the surfaces.
Okay, so
At least 1 point from each surface you should have.
like we are gonna do with every point.
Not every point. If suppose this point is having very blur option, so that is why I'm doing manually. Okay, maximum time I'll do auto. So you don't need to do for all the points in this background. I need one from this background, and I'll take it from there one. Right. So I have to find out where I can get the maximum contrast point, and which will be having less error and will give you much better track result.
Okay, so
Somewhere here I was there. Maybe I'll say too much. Frame forward. Like those people, like those who have already done 3D equalizer, right? So there is a difference between 3D equalizer and PF track is like if you have a ocean, only ocean is there, and you want to track it. With the 3D equalizer, it will be little difficult to track it because you'll not get a good point here. But with the PF track, you have an option for auto tracking, right? Which is very good, right? And because it is a combination of auto tracking and manual tracking, right? So that is why it will give you a little better result in such cases than the 3D equalizer. Okay. Yeah, 3D equalizer also is a very good software, right? Fine. Okay, this point is done. So I'll come back to this frame. Now I have to search for another points, right? So currently 4 is done, right? I can see my F curve and all. Now you can see that F curve and all. So it shows you the graph, right? Okay, I have a 300, which is auto tracking. And then you have a manual track points out there. Then you have a dope sheet, where basically your editing will show, right? Means whatever you use the feature, you will find everything it will show. So whatever manual track point you have added, it is showing with this line. Okay. Track L, this is showing the feature 1 or feature 5 or what it is having a very good track or not, right? Then you have a track E where you will find the error. Lot of error is there or not, right? So here you can see that, okay, my each point, whether it is manual or auto, doesn't matter. Okay, so each point is having what error. So this is the graph. It shows the length, means here it is having a length which is starting and how far that length is having the error. So it is showing for each auto, right? So what you have to do, you have to minimize this error. So what I have to do is I have to go down. I want some mixed bag of green and yellow, but not red, certainly not red. So I'll push to totally down. I'll remove totally red. So somewhat something around, I think 6.4, right? And this is the manual track point. So manual track point, I cannot control with this. I can control only auto track points here. Okay. So I can move it this. Okay. So I'll get a much better result. Okay, so this is the track E which we have to do it. Okay, so come back to your timeline. Okay, now
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನೀನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯ. ಈ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀಯ ಆಮೇಲೆ?
Prakash, your mic. Okay. Till now, anyone is having any question, any problem, any doubt? Guys, anyone is having any question, any doubt?
Not so, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now my 5 points are there. I can go and try to solve the camera, but 100% I'll not get it because 5.5 manual track point is not very good, right? I want at least 7 to 8 track points minimum, okay, to help the auto track to solve the camera. So I need at least 2 more points, okay, from start to end, okay, not only in the middle. So let's see. I'll go last frame. I'll start from the last frame because in this area I cannot see all the points, right? So in the last frame I can see only here something and here something, right? So what I'll do is I'll go and grab this point, right? So select user feature. Select, add a point. Okay, I'll say track backward. Source error. Let's see where it has shown error. Here. Okay. So what I'll do is track, not frame forward. I'll say backward because I'm tracking backward. Okay. Frame backward. Okay. So till here it was fine. I'll manual add point because it is having a motion blur. So that is why it is not able to detect the point. So I'll add some couple of point because my search area is also going outside, right? So let it come inside. Okay, it has come inside now. So again, I'll try track backward. Some error. So find out where the error is. So from here, so go frame backward. Click. Go backward. Because generally you have to give like you have to know that in the studio they prefer manual tracking more instead of auto tracking. So that is why like you should be always ready to solve a camera with the manual track point also. Okay, so generally this is the simple shot, so 7 to 10 track point is more than enough. But when we talk about the complex shot, we do add, sometimes it goes like 30 to 40 manual track points also. Okay, so it just depends because where the perspective is changing, we had to have a more points, because in that case what happens is the point which you have chosen in the first frame will not be there till last frame, right? So it will, perspective changing means the point is deviating. So that time what we have to do, we have to do the manual tracking. So that is why 3D equalizer is much more popular, right? But again, yes, PF track is also have their own area, and many a movies is done in 3D PF track. PF track and Boju interface is quite similar, right? So like if you know PF track, you can easily do work in Boju also. And if you know Boju, you can easily work in PF track also. It's like very kind of similar to each other. Okay, done. So my 6th point, I have added it. Right now, let's see if we can solve the camera or not. Right. So let's see. So what we can do is we can go directly and say solve camera. Okay. So switch on the auto track point also. Okay. Solve. Now it says modern group camera. Yes. Keyframe method automatic. Yes. Right. Solution type initial solution only or what? Feature include or manual or auto. So you have to check it on both. Okay. You want accuracy or not? Fine. High accuracy is there. Say start. Now it will initialize. If it is green in color, it's going good. Yellow means it is deviating. And if it is red, means totally error. See, it's coming yellow some places, right? Means it is not 100% correct. Fine. So now it has solved and it has given you the points. Okay. Now I'll hide the auto track. Now you can see that, okay, I have a grid here, which is moving, right? So what I'll do is I'll make the grid line on this top of the surface. Okay. So to do that, check on the orientation button, right? And translate to translate it, rotate to rotate. Okay. Scale to scale it down. I want a little smaller. Rotation. Has to rotate it, return. Scaling. Okay, again, a little bit of rotation is needed. Fine. Translate. Okay, let's see whether this stays on there or not. Looks good. It's staying. Okay, so this is what I am doing is a testing, kind of testing. Okay, so what I can do is I can select any one of the point. Right, suppose I'm selecting the feature 1, right, and I can say, right, there is a lot of option after solving as a set as origin. When you say set as origin, what will happen that your graph, your grid will move to that. Means this is that the origin now. So now you can test that your track is correct or not. Means if this grid is moving, means your track is not correct. I can see there is a very little movement is there, so means I have to improve my track. But or otherwise it is very much on that position. In the last only I have to do some changes. Okay, in the start it is very much fine. Okay, another option what you can do is you can select the like feature 3 or any of the options. You can have set as origin, just now I said, or you can give a new test object. Now what are the new test objects are there? You have different types of test object. Means full cow will be there, full head will be there, mushroom will be there, tall marker is there, dump tag is there. So anything between the dump tag, marker or mushroom, you can use it, right? So I'll use a tall marker. Tall marker is like a pencil type, right? I'll say create. So now you can see this is create. Now it is a 3-dimensional. So what it will do is it has a 3-dimensional. It will give you more better look towards that. Okay, the track is good or not. So let's see. It has not deviated from the point, or it has not changed the perspective. It is just standing still from start to end. Means my track is almost 90% in 90%. Okay, it will be 94, 95, anything can be there. Okay, because a lot of things we have to keep in mind while solving it, like is there lens distortion is there or not, or error is there, how much RMS value was there, because the RMS value, the lower the RMS value, the more better track you will, where more better solution you will get it. Okay, so this all auto features which is there and manual features all combined will work as a point cloud when we export it into the 3D scene. Understood everyone this till now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now after this, what you have to do, okay, once you have tested, okay, you are very much satisfied with your track point, what you can do is you can go to the option called tracking export, camera object export. You can go to the camera object export, right? Right click it here, say new, in which format you want to export, Maya, After Effects, all the softwares are there, right? So I want to export in Maya. So search for the Maya software, Maya ASCII. Okay, so it will export in the .ma file. So MA, all features, or you want something specific features, right? So that also we can do. Scaling, no need to scaling. Cameras, okay. Where you want to save it? I want to save it in tracking export 3D camera tracking.m. So I can browse it. I can say, see, automatically it has taken that folder name. Okay, I don't have to create the folder or locate the folder, right? So this is the best thing what we do it. Okay, so we can always save it and we can save. So now if you go in that folder, you will find that, okay, 3D camera tracking is there. Export, I have just Maya file. I can open Maya file and I can see the scene is there. Okay, so this is the short. What we can do is, I think Maya is working on a okay. So this is how you can do the tracking and you can export to the Maya software. Okay. So this is like very simple things are there. Now, if you want, like, see, there are a lot of track points are there. You can easily get confused where you want to place object. So what I can do is always I can select on which particular feature I want to place the object, right? I want to place on this 4. So I can select all this 4, right click, always say tag for export. So what will happen? It will be show there as a tag file format. Okay. So that is the best option what we can use it for the tag for export. Clear? So this is also helpful when you are exporting to the other form. Or another option is your survey. Now survey is what it will do is it will give you the feature 1, select it, click it, it will give you the X, Y coordinate, all the other coordinate it will give you. So you have feature 2 you want, bring it here, right? So you can get a survey data of each track point. How much deviation, error, or anything is there or not. So it will just give you the survey data. Right? Then you can group it also. You can select some set of track and you can group it also. Then you have a show F curve, which is here also, right? This is the F curve. So same option, you can show the F curve for that tracking data. So all those options are here also same. So now suppose in case you know from which camera you have shot it, right? So before solving, you can give that parameters here, right? Okay, single camera is there. I have, okay, Paul, it has taken from there. Okay, now frame size is what? Is fine. No need to change. Frame acceleration, no need to change. But yeah, you can change this option. Focal length is changing, yes or no. What is the exact? It is 35 mm, 21 mm, 20 mm, 14 mm. If you know, please update it. Lens, please update that all information. Okay, if you know. Right? So it will give you much better options. And if you know this error, we can easily set the lens distortion also. Okay. So here we have the option for all the camera, right? I have a depth map is also there. So I can use this depth map option, right? To see how the the depth map is there into the scene. So this will all work before the solution of the scene, right? So it is just for the viewing purpose, right? So it will just for the viewing purpose, except the lens distortion. Then you have if you are unhappy with the solution, always you can unsolve or you can delete the solution. Again, you can improve it and you can solve it. And in case if you are into the scene and you want to improve it, again, you can track it and again, you can say, I want to improve the scene. So you can I'll improve the scene to get the track better. Clear? Even you have options to bring any of the box. Suppose I want to bring this box here. Box is there, right? I can easily click to translate and everything I can do. Right? So I can see this, okay. I have placed this in one place. Is that moving or not moving? Right? Just to check it. I can see there's a deviation is there in the last, right? So these are the things you can easily choose to see whether it is working or not working or how it is there, right? So I'll later, we don't use it generally, all those things, okay? So even you can bring it from, say, if you have anything, you can easily use it. Primitive is there or add primitive is there. You can easily add some options. OBJ, if you have any OBJ file format, you can use that OBJ file format also to bring it here. Okay, so it supports OBJ file format here, right? So then you have a batch render that you can do it with the help of script and all. Okay. So there is a many ways to improve the solution after tracking, right? So there is one option is you having, I told you, is the tracking to improve the solution. Then you have a project E and Cami is there, right? Project E is the after the solution. You can see here. You can see that my outer threshold is going to 56.445. Means here you can see that lines is going much upper, right? Lines are going much upper. So I can easily bring it down to make it something below 10. Right? Then camera E movement is also not very good. I cannot change that. Okay. It is average RMS value is 2 pixels. 2 pixels is very high values. We always go below 1 is fine or around 1 is fine. So above 2 is like too much. Okay. So that is why that error is there. So I have to add more manual track points to clear it. And basically I have an error more in this frame. Okay. Means I need to add more track points which should be present into this sequence one. Okay, then I can settle it. Another option to reduce the error is always the lens distortion. Do you know what is lens distortion? Have you heard the name lens distortion before? Anyone?
Yes.
What it is? What it is?
Like I don't know how can I explain, right?
So
Just
when we,
Those bokeh type things appear when we point the camera, the lens towards and light source, like some kind of like thing. Or
That is a lens flare.
yeah, sorry.
Okay. Anyone else was saying lens distortion?
some kind of error while we capture a pic.
What type of error it will be?
Uh,
Any
like,
idea?
It creates some distorts like a blurry effect.
No. No blurry effect.
I mean,
Lens-
angle changes. Like
It just simple thing is
So when
You
the
have-
camera
you-
bends, and when the camera bends the straight lines into a curvy images, sir,
yeah,
like
fine.
rounded or curvy lines
Fine.
from
That
the
is
images.
yeah. So why it happens? You know? Why it happens, you know? It's a very simple.
Due to different camera lenses or focal.
No, it is because of the lens.
So grid
Because
change.
it's a spherical lenses, sir, I think.
Yes, it is because we all are using the spherical lens. Means what happens is actually, if you see the camera, all lenses are not straight. It is always will be concave or convex, right? Concave and convex. You know what is concave lens and convex lens?
Yes.
yes, sir.
Like you wear glasses, right? It will be either positive or will be negative, right? The value will be either in positive or the negative, right? So that is actually the combination of the concave and the convex. Means one will be the inside arc and one will be the outside arc. Okay. It's like very simple if I show. One will be like this and one will be like this. It is just concave and convex. Okay. So what happens because of this lenses, the images when it is captured into the sensor, sometimes what happens is you will not able to find it. The naked eye, it's like very minute. Sometimes it is very, if you capture in the fisheye lens, you will find it is very large. But when you capture it like 18 to 30 mm or 50 mm, what you will find, there will be a lens distortion, but it will be very little that you will know with the naked eyes. You will be to find it. It will be very hard, right? So that is the lens distortion. So almost all the images has a lens distortion. Okay, all the images has a lens distortion. If you are using a camera which has a straight lens, then you will not get a lens distortion, and that lenses are very rare. In Nikon, you can get some lenses, right? We call it, those lenses are the rectilinear lenses. Okay, rectilinear lenses. Okay, so those lenses, if you capture from that lenses, you will get the straight image. You will not get any type of lens distortion. Okay, now in the movies, what happened? They sometimes they use anamorphic lenses, means which is having the wide angle, like very much bend is there. So in that cases, you will find error is also more. Okay, so we have to correct that lens distortion. Okay, I'll tell you about lens distortion more in the tomorrow class. Okay, in detail, what is the lens distortion? Like if you go any of the software, if you go, all the software has a lens distortion option will be there, and you have some set parameters will be there. Okay, so what it is this and what it is, everything I tell you. I'll tell you first what is the lens distortion. Okay, what are the types of lens distortion, and from which lens I'll get what type of lens distortion. If you understand this, automatically you can easily manipulate the lens distortion easily in any of the software. Okay. Fine. So what I'll do is I'll stop today's lecture here only. Okay. So what I need you to do is just practice what I have told. Track it, auto track it, then manual track it, solve the camera. Okay. That's it. So, and try to reduce the error. Do that. After that, tomorrow I'll tell you the lens distortion things, how to correct the lens distortion, and then how we can export into the Maya. Like, okay, that I have told you today. How we can import into the Maya and how we can work in the Maya. Okay, means how we can correct the information in the Maya, like how it will be seen in the Maya and how we can place some object, right? So I'll show you that option tomorrow. Clear, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So we'll meet you tomorrow. Okay, same time, 5 o'clock. Be there, guys. So tomorrow we'll talk about the lens distortion and the Maya, how we can work in the Maya.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So,
Bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Aryan.
So
Wow.
before ending, sir, just to solve my small problem.
Yes.
So I'm having problem importing the file in that Solute software.
Okay. So share the screen.
Yes, sir. See, sir. Now, sir, I have to click on this, right?
Bring the
Now-
footage.
Footage is here, but it is not showing. So what I should do?
And in which format it is?
It is image. Now, which format I have to choose?
Open the directory first from the file explorer.
Yeah, this one is footage.
That is a video file. Video file will not come directly. I told you, no? You have to convert into the image sequence. There's a video file.
Yeah, that is a video file.
You have to convert this into the image sequence, then you can call it.
So with the help of other software.
Any of the converter software you can take it, or you can take the help of Loop also, or you can take the help of Premiere, After Effects, right? Any of the software, or even you have any converters there,
Premiere Pro.
you can use. Yeah, Premiere Pro also, you can use it, Premiere Pro to convert it.
So like this video is about 32 seconds. So I'll cut it by 3 or 4 seconds.
You cut it in 3 seconds in Premiere and export that 3 seconds into the JPEG or not JPEG, export into the PNG or TGA.
Okay, sir, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So when I export in 1 minute, sir. Let me share my screen.
Yes.
So when I export in alpha channel, I'm not able to find that fingers. See, sir.
Just check your file. It is hidden out there or not? What it is there? Open your Silhouette.
Can you see, so?
Yeah.
It's there now. It's here.
Show me your this object list. Make it little bigger. Object list. Second.
Yeah.
Up.
1 minute, so.
No. This one. Where you can find the layers, object list.
It's here.
Yeah. So make it little larger so I can see what is here. Fine. Okay. Where's your left finger? Click on left finger. Here it is show. Go press Shift A. Here also it is not showing. Then only it is not showing there.
Yes, sir. That's what.
So you have made a mistake in the your.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Like we have to close these loops, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do it.
Close it.
Everything we
and check
create,
it.
we have to close it.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Yeah. Welcome.
Can I leave, sir?
Yeah. Fine.
So,
Yes, Aryan.
yeah, sir. So I have this footage. This is of 2 seconds.
Hmm.
Now, sir, I'll export this file. Now, sir, in what frame, what that format I have to? Back.
PNG is there. Down. PNG is there. PNG. Down. P.
Yeah, sorry. This one.
PNG.
Now,
Give
Okay,
the
now-
file path where you want to save. Save it in one folder.
just a sec, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Will you be reviewing our assignments tomorrow in like tomorrow's lecture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Those who have submitted, I'll review.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Just had a small question. So I rendered it at the end on the MOV format to submit as you asked. It just distorted the quality a bit. Is it normal?
Maybe there you have, when you are rendering it, that time you have not selected 100%. That is why it has distorted. Might be.
Oh, okay. Like I have submitted the assignment. So is it okay for this time? I'll do it in the next assignment. Or I should resubmit it.
I'll check it tomorrow, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So now I have to export.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this file will easily, you can get it in the Silhouette.
Now I have to export all the photos.
No. Just select one. And
No.
open.
Open.
It has come.
So now what?
New session. Go up. Session. New session. A session. New session. After file, you will find new session. After file, edit session. Menu bar session. New session. Here select roto. Give name to the new session. In the template, select roto.
Photo.
Streamline, fine. Okay. Now directly down. Okay. Okay. Down. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Now plate.
Where is plate?
Play. Timeline. Big back.
Yeah.
Fine. Now you can do that.
And sir, now I have to use this one or this one?
B-spline.
B-spline. Like,
Yes.
This. Okay, sir. I'll try it. out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow, guys. Bye. Okay, so do practice on the PF track. If you any confusion there, ask me tomorrow. Okay, then tomorrow I'll show you the lens distortion and the Maya walkthrough. Okay.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye. Bye.